Hello class. Today I will explain you about different processing states. In the previous class I have discussed about what is process and what is the difference between a process and a program. In today's class I will explain in detail about different process states in the operating system. As we discussed earlier, a process is a program under execution. Process is not as same as program code. A process is an active entity as opposed to program which is considered to be a passive entity. So, process in the operating system can be any of the following states. A process may be either in new state, in ready state, running state, terminate, wait and block, suspend ready and suspend wait state. At a time, a process will be any one of the following state. In the starting, the first step, or we can say the first state, is your new state. In this state, the process is about to be created but not yet created. It is the program which is present in the secondary memory that will be picked up by the operating system to create the process. The second state is your ready state. After the creation of the process, the process enters into the ready state. That is your second state. That is, the process is loaded into the main memory. The process here is ready to run and is waiting to get the CPU time for its execution. Processes that are ready for execution by the CPU maintained in a queue in the ready state. That queue is called your ready. Then the next state is your running state. In the running state, the process is chosen by CPU for execution and the instructions within the process are executed by any one of the available CPU cores. It means the CPU is now allocated to the process. The next state is your blocked or wait state. In blocked or wait state, whenever the process requests access to input/output or needs input from the user or needs access to a critical region, it enters the blocked or wait state. The process continues to wait in the main memory and does not require CPU. Once the input/output operation is completed, the process goes to the ready state. After the successful completion, input/output completion in the waiting state, the process will again move to its ready state where the ready queue is already maintained. The next state is your terminate state. Once the resources are completely allocated to the process, it means the process is completely executed. Now the process will move to the terminate state. Here the process is killed as well as the PCB is also deleted. Now the next state is your suspend ready state. Process that was initially in the ready state but was swapped out of main memory are placed onto external storage by the scheduler are said to be suspend ready state. The process will transition back to the ready state whenever the process is again brought onto the main memory. The next state is your suspend block, similar to suspend ready, but uses the process which was performing input output operation and lack of main memory caused them to move to secondary storage. When work is finished, it may go to suspend ready state. So now there is a summary, that is, whenever the process is created or the process is either under creation, that will be in the new state. Once the process is created, it will move to the next state, that is called your ready state, where a ready queue is maintained to handle this process. From the ready queue, one of the process is selected and that process will move to its running state for execution. If there are complete resources available, it means you can also say that if the process granted n number of resources and those resources are allocated to the process, then that process will be successfully completed and it will move to its next state, that is your terminate state. In the terminate state, the process will be killed and the PCB is also deleted. In the running state, if there is a need of any input output request, then that process will move to its wait or block state. In the wait state, if the input output requests are successfully completed, it means the IO is complete, the IO input output is completed, then it will move to its ready state for again execution. The process will now again wait for CPU and this process will be continuously performed by the operating system until the process is successfully executed. Then, in suspend ready state, a process in the ready state which is moved to secondary memory from the main memory due to the lack of resources, mainly primary memory, is called in the suspend ready state. If the main memory is full and a higher priority process comes for the execution, then the operating system have to make the room for the process in the main memory by throwing the lower priority process out into the secondary memory. The suspend ready process remain in the secondary memory until the main memory gets available. So the next is your suspend wait state. In suspend wait state, instead of removing the process from the ready queue, it's better to remove the blocked process which is waiting for some resources in the main memory, since it already waiting for some resource to get available. Hence, it is better if it waits in the secondary memory and make room for the higher priority process. These processes complete their execution once the main memory gets available and their wait is finished. Okay. Thank you, class.